Okay team, this is week 2 of your self-portrait. So this week I want us to focus on drawing the outline of our features, measuring it and making sure we're happy with the placement, and then we're going to do a wash of grey over the whole thing so that it's not white, because even though I have white skin, I actually don't have that much pure white on my face. So grab your pencils and let's get started. So from last week, we measured the rule of thirds, so the forehead, the middle, and the bottom, and we figured out where the irises are and where the mouth is. So we can use our guide to figure out where to put our eyes. Now, as soon as we've been measuring sight size, so that means we're taking the measurement and we're transferring it easily across there, we can do the same with the eye. So if I just familiarize myself with the width of the face, so if I go from here to here, and just double check that this is the same size as this, perfect, then I can figure out where my eye is. So I might actually work backwards, and I'm going to go for the inside of the eye, because obviously you've got the skin that folds out and then you've got the skin that folds in. So I'm going to go for the bit that folds in, get that measurement, pop that here, and then that will be where it folds in. Now, it might not be on the same position as the iris, because obviously these can move. So I'm just going to make this a little bit longer, and then I'm going to get the width of the eye. So if I take that and then go here, that is the size of the eye. Now, often your eyes should fit in the middle gap, the monobrow, the same amount. So this one is actually just a little bit bigger, the gap. So if I take this measurement, go here, and then it's a tiny bit bigger, so let's say this other eye starts there. So if I take this measurement from here to there, then that should be where the other eye ends. So it feels very weird because obviously we've got this massive piece of cheek, but my head is twisted, so I have to trust the system and see what happens. Okay, so let's do the same whilst we're measuring. Let's do the same for the mouth. So if I try to familiarize myself with the center, which goes from the chin to the eyebrows, so that's there, then I can measure from this mouth to here. Go thumb, there we go. Middle of the mouth to there. Then the left side, that will be a different size because the face is twisted. Let's get that here. Okay, wow, I really do have a big mouth, don't I? Fab. And then let's get the nose. So again, familiarize myself with the middle, because the nose, this is in the middle of this line. The nose is actually moved slightly to the right because we have the twist in the face. I'm sick of saying the twist in the face. But because the nose comes forward, it is a little bit more twisted. Okay, so then I can just check that if this is my central line, I can check this to see whether the edge of the nose is that distance from the eye. So that looks huge. So I've probably just got that wrong there. So I think that feels a bit better. And then let's check this edge. So I'm parallel to that orientation line. And that one is pretty much in the corner. Okay, so maybe slightly off of both of those, but okay, good, that feels good. So now I'm going to just draw the outline and do this on yours as well. And just think about, you know, if this is the line that goes through our pupils, what can I see underneath? Can I see more of the eye underneath? Or if I pop that on top, can I see more of the eye on top? That looks so creepy. So keep doing this and keep checking as you're going. You've got your measurements, so you know they should fit inside here perfectly well. So I just need to make sure I've got the right spaces from the top and the bottom. And it will take some time, so I'm just going to speed this up, but I will talk over it as well. Now, with the eyes, I think I might have said this in our last session, but we always tend to overdraw the eyes because, you know, for anyone that wears makeup, we make our eyes look bigger. We put eyeliner on, we put mascara on, and it gives the illusion of these huge eyes. So when we are drawing, we tend to draw them so big, and then at the end you're like, huh, what's wrong with my drawing? And it's because you've done these gigantic alien eyes, which I am guilty for as well. I've done that. So just watch out for the size, and then try and check where your lines curve. Gosh, this looks absolutely terrifying. The thing is, I have learned the hard way that you just have to trust the system. You have to go through the bad stage in order to make it work. So if yours looks like this creepy rag doll from a 1990s TV show, then you're doing it right. God, look. So bad. Trust the system, China. Trust the system. All right, let's just add a bit of stuff around it just to get rid of like the freakiness of it. So if you have hair, just start drawing like that big shape. There we go. And we don't want to worry about shading too much at this stage because it's boring. Well, the hair shading is boring, but I've got straight hair, so hopefully it won't be too crazy. I did add a few curls that day. Okay, good, great, all right. Even I'm like, is this really going to turn out like me? Trust the system, trust the system, trust the system. So before I commit to anything else, I'm just going to take I'm going to take a couple of measurements just to double check the size. So I'm going to go from the chin to the hairline, and it's a little bit trickier because I'm quadruple-tortured. So I'm just trying to get that on the same line. I think that's around there. Let me go from the hairline here. Okay, so that's a tiny bit off. To be honest, I do feel like either this is too big or this is too small, so I might just extend that a little bit. That feels a little bit better. Otherwise, my face just looks quite squashed. Okay, now I look like a 5-year-old version of myself. Okay, and then let's take across the top lip. Let's check that size. Across the top lip, that is perfect. Actually, the top lip is a little bit straighter. That's gonna need a lot of work. All right, let me take from the irises, the width from the hairline, iris. Oh, okay. So that's from the hairline. That goes. Hold on. Hairline, iris, edge. Hairline, iris. Oh, perfect. All right, let me check from the right edge to the left eye. Right edge to, ooh, okay, right edge to the left eye. We have just about missed that quite a lot. Let me double check that. Always double check. Triple check if you can. To the left eye, to the skin. All right, okay. Yeah, it's not out. Okay, maybe that's it, team. So make sure you've double checked your measurements. I think this is playing up a bit because I've probably gone too flat and actually that line goes up. So let me just change this, and then that will give me a bit more space for the chin. I feel a little bit more realistic. So there's the corner of the mouth is big enough. So then down here, that's in the right place. Let me check the middle of the iris. And we got that little bit in there. Yeah, that's a bit better. Okay, I'm just gonna leave those creepy teeth. And I'll just check. So that ends just inside the inside the iris. Would that be better? Let me check the width of this. Okay, maybe that can move ever so slightly. Okay, cool. Gosh, I really need to measure. Right, so I am going to remove my guidelines. So please do the same on yours, and then we're going to start with our base layer. At this stage, the more you look, the more you see. Things will change and adapt as you're tweaking a line or looking at it a little bit closer. And that's what happens when we work from big to small. Things are always changing. So my drawing right now isn't permanent. It's going to change quite a lot before I get to the end. And I'm already starting to see some things are really out of place, which I actually won't realize until way later on in these videos. So let's continue. Okay, so let's start on the shading. So what I want to do first of all is I actually want to get rid of all of the white. So I'm just going to throw down a very simple shade. The only thing that's white on my white face are some highlights on the lips, the teeth, and the iris. So that's the only thing I'm going to avoid. So on yours, just see if there's any like actual white things and just avoid those. But everything else can be at least a shade 2 or a 3. I would imagine. I've not even seen it, and I'm just dictating what the tones are on your drawing. All right, just to make it nice and even, I'm going to go in a second direction as well. Okay, cool. So I've got that on. What I'm actually going to do this time is also add a dark layer for the hair, because I want to start to set the tones and to see the skin as it should be. So I'm going to grab my dark pencil and I'm just going to throw some on there. So let's start with the neck. And I know that this is going to be very, very dark. The thing is, if I want to rub this out, nothing near it is white. So if I do mess up, it's really not a problem because I can erase it and then I can try to pop it back in. So let's speed this up and do the same on yours. And it's going to look much better than this creepy thing that we have in front of us. If you're feeling festive and you've enjoyed these videos throughout the year, feel free to buy me a coffee in the link below, or you can subscribe to Patreon for just a couple of quid a month, get extra content and support a small business like myself. So that's it for this stage. Next week, we're going to be looking at how to refine the shading even more, and it's still things that you can apply to your drawing, even though it's my face and my drawing. So I'll see you next week for the final class of this year. Can you believe it? What the hell? So well done, and I'll see you next week for the final session.